What happens to your brain when you feel angry? 10 amazing facts. First fact, the internal flame. When you feel anger, your brain ignites a primitive spark. The amygdala, the oldest emotional center of your limbic system, triggers a survival alarm. It is the same circuit used by our ancestors when facing predators. In milliseconds, it sends signals to the hypothalamus, preparing the body to fight or flee. The heart races, muscles tense, and blood rushes to the fists. Anger is not just a feeling, it is the entire body arming itself for combat. And that's when the brain has to decide, do you master the flame, or does it consume you? Second fact, the chemistry of fire. Anger is not just emotion, it's biochemistry. Adrenaline, noradrenaline, and cortisol are released in seconds. These substances increase your energy and focus, but they also temporarily shut down logical thinking. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making, is partially shut down. In this state, the brain prioritizes action, not reason. That's why, when you explode, you seem to act without thinking. Anger is a chemical tide, powerful, but dangerous if left unchecked. Third fact, the blockage of logic. While the amygdala dominates, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thinking, is pushed into the background. Anger literally shuts down the ability to judge. That's why after a fit of rage, the most common phrase is, "I wasn't thinking straight." In fact, you weren't. Under intense anger, the brain becomes an emotional machine. And that machine is driven by instinct. Fourth fact, the illusion of power. During anger, there is a feeling of control, but it is illusory. Dopamine, the pleasure neurotransmitter, can be released when you vent your anger. That's why yelling, breaking something, or winning an argument brings a false sense of relief. The brain rewards you for reacting, but not for resolving. And the more it feels that reward, the easier it is to explode again. Fifth fact, the body on alert. Your body becomes a battlefield. Blood pressure rises, heart rate skyrockets, lungs fill with air. It's full-on attack mode. On the outside, it just looks like anger. On the inside, it's a physiological state designed for extreme survival. If the anger is constant, this alert mode becomes the norm, and the body begins to wear down. Prolonged anger corrodes the heart, the immune system, and even sleep. Sixth fact, memory on fire. Anger changes the way the brain stores memories. When you feel hatred or rage, the hippocampus records the event with greater intensity. That's why memories linked to anger seem so vivid and last for years. The brain wants you to remember the danger. But that also means reliving the trauma every time you think about the event. Seventh fact, social contamination. Anger is contagious. The human brain is equipped with mirror neurons, cells that mimic the emotions of others. When someone yells, your brain mirrors the emotion and prepares your body to react. That's why an angry person can change the mood of an entire room. An angry brain awakens others. It's a biological chain reaction. Eighth fact, repressed anger. Not all anger is explosive. When suppressed, it changes form. The brain continues to release small doses of cortisol and muscle tension. Over time, this can cause anxiety, depression, and even chronic pain. Suppressed anger is a silent fire. It doesn't burn on the outside, but it destroys on the inside. Ninth fact, conscious control. Neuroscience shows that meditation, breathing, and cognitive control can reactivate the prefrontal cortex during anger. This restores decision-making power. When you take a deep breath and think before reacting, you are literally switching back on the rational part of your brain. It is conscious control over animal instinct. 10th fact, the final balance. Controlling anger is not about stifling emotion, but transforming it. The brain can learn to channel this impulse into productive energy. Training empathy, dialogue, and self-awareness rebuilds the neural connections that previously led to rage. The brain, after all, is plastic. It changes. And when you master anger, you don't just change your mind. You change your destiny. Want to see what else happens to your brain when you feel anger and other amazing things about your mind? Click on the links below.